Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're taking a look at what makes you different from others. Please be aware this is a general reading to only take what resonates and leave the rest, as the messages may differ for everyone watching. I'm now going to show you your crystals. For pile number 1, we have this rose quartz egg. This crystal kind of just goes all over the place. Okay, there we go. For pile number 2, we have this amethyst cluster. And for pile number 3, we have the citrine cluster. I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever pile you're most drawn to. If you're drawn to more than one pile, you can pick 2 or all of them. Your intuition will always know best. If you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I will see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you chose this rose quartz crystal, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what makes you different from others, okay? You chose the card water with the overflow. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of your cards, but please be aware this is a general reading to only take what resonates and leave the rest. Just to note, it's 8:18 on the clock as I'm recording this, so that may be an angel number some of you are seeing. Okay, so for your cards, we have Journey to Wholeness, we have the Magician, we have the Sun, we have the Golden Children with inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. For your tarot cards, we have the Knight of Cups, we have the Fool, we have the Two of Pentacles, and lastly we have the Ace of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles from this tarot deck, we have the Artist, which is an extra card in this tarot deck. We have the Hierophant. And lastly, we have the Well, which is also an extra card in this tarot deck. Okay, my pile number 1s, now that we have your cards laid out, I see exactly what makes you different from others. So, you know, with this water, the overflow card, I knew exactly I had to pick rose quartz for you. And I don't know why I picked this rose quartz egg, but if you saw the intro, I was trying to put it down, and it kept rolling over. But I felt this like playful energy from it, almost like, you know, when a cat almost like, you know, when a cat like takes something and then they roll it over, like a piece of yarn or something. You get what I mean? Like that kind of playful energy of like rolling something over. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but I felt like a playful energy from it. And I mean, we even have the sun and the golden children here with inner child. So there is this playful feeling to you, but also this loving feeling, just tapping into the energy overall. Because rose quartz is, also a crystal of love, and I knew we had to do rose quartz. I was gonna use other rose quartz crystals for you, but I just felt like they didn't quite match my expectations of your pile, if that makes sense. So with this crystal being chosen, the rose quartz egg, I didn't exactly know why it was going to be chosen, but there was a reason for it being chosen, if that makes sense. So it's very exciting to see, like a playful energy from my pile number ones, but also a very loving energy. So I'm going to explain what I see in a moment. Also, when I started the reading, I saw 818. So I just wanted to Google what that angel number means before I forget. So it says here, it carries a strong message of abundance, but also the reminder that we can access abundance only when our thoughts and actions are aligned with whatever it is. So that's interesting because we even have the Queen of Pentacles next to the artist. I find that as like an extra message in this pile, that we can create, prosperity and abundance in our life. Like, almost like our reality is a canvas to align your thoughts and your actions with whatever it is you want, and that prosperity and abundance will come to you. Imagine your life like a canvas, and each day is a new canvas that you can paint any colors onto, because it's opposite the Fool card, and see it as like a new adventure. I don't know why this message is coming out in your reading of what makes you different. Perhaps we'll see in a bit, but I just see that as like an extra message right now, perhaps not having to do with the reading. Maybe it does have to do with the reading. We'll see a bit later on. Okay, so what I do feel from your energy so far, like I said, you're very loving people, very loving souls, and that makes you so different from others. But in the sense of your heart is so big, you're so connected to your heart. I feel like you're naturally empathic souls. You naturally just feel a lot of empathy for others, and I don't think many people on earth do feel empathy, because I don't know, I don't mean to bash other people, but I don't see empathy being on earth a lot. There are a lot of people on earth that are empathic, but I don't see it all the time. You get what I mean? Perhaps that's just my life. I don't know. But that's the feeling I'm getting here from Spirit. Like, you're very empathic, you're very loving people, and that's what makes you different from others, because not a lot of people can hold this high amounts of love that you do. You get what I mean? I feel like your heart is just so big, and there's the sense of your heart is so huge. I feel like you have the divine gift of love. You're meant to bring that higher type of love from wherever this gift came from. For some it's past lives, for some it's ancestors. For some it's just the fact that you have your inner child with you. Because when we think of kids are naturally very loving and trusting of people. You get what I mean? So for everyone it might be different, but I feel for a lot of you, like where it came from, I don't know where it came from, but like it's different for everyone. But like for most of you here, you have the divine gift of love. And that's what makes you different from others, because you're meant to bring your big heart to earth and bring that type of love down to earth and spread that everywhere. But the difference for your type of gift of love, we have the overflow. We see water overflowing from the heart, and we see a person pouring into themselves with many different arms. So that lets me know that what makes you different from others with the specific gift of love, some people have the gift of divine love and they're meant to just spread love everywhere, whereas you have the divine gift of love, but you're meant to pour into you first, overflow onto others, if that makes sense. You're meant to come to wholeness within you first, pour love into you, and then overflow onto others, and not empty yourself giving love to others, because I feel like you're naturally quite empathic, and you feel a huge amount of empathy for people with your gift of love, because I feel like there's something Spirit showing me, like your heart is so big and your heart is your gift that you can kind of connect your heart cord with other people's heart cord and feel what's going on in their heart, if that makes sense. Spirit is showing it to me like visually in a vision, like almost like a telephone cord between your heart and someone else's heart when you speak to them, when you interact them, when you hug them, and it goes away after like a day, or after you're not in contact with that person anymore. So I'm seeing here with the water energy like an extra message for this, to cleanse yourself when you feel other people's energy on you with water, since we see a lot of water here, and to kind of like cleanse your heart space with water. Just imagine those cords that are attached to your heart that aren't serving you falling away, if that makes sense. Like telephone cords, like when you wash it, it falls away. You get what I mean? I don't know why that message is coming through in this reading, but I guess extra messages are here, along with what makes you different to others. So yeah, I just feel like you have this ability to feel other people's emotions and what's going on within their heart, whether there's heartbreak there, loss there, feelings of betrayal, feelings of jealousy, feelings of like, I can't open up to love because I'm scared of it. I feel like you can feel everything that's going on within someone's heart. And I'm also feeling like, in this card, her eyes are closed, and then in this card, her eyes are open. I'm kind of seeing the message of like, the eyes are the windows to the soul. And when you look into someone's eyes, you can see their pain. And now I'm hearing this song by Green Tea Ping. I think it's called Suffer, but it's like, I suffer, you suffer, I suffer too. I look into your eyes and I feel your pain. Something along those lines. Can't remember exactly. I haven't listened to that song in a while. But I feel like that's you, my pal number ones. You can look into someone's eyes and feel their pain and feel their joy and feel their love. Like, there's something about that. And I'm getting a message from Spirit. That's what makes you different to others, and even to others with the gift of love, because everyone's gifts are different, you know what I mean? So I feel like your gifts are unique in a sense, and we often don't see the gift of love as a gift, but you're able to hold that higher amount of love on earth, pour into yourself first, like pour that love into you, and then overflow onto others, and then it's just magical, like rainbows. Because this card, her hands are even on her heart space, and these things, like these rainbow things, are flowing out of her heart space. I had to cover it up because she's naked there, but I just kind of want to show you like a visual of what I'm seeing. This woman here was a painting from Lemuria, and the woman painted it and saw basically a half octopus, half human lady, and she was in quite a bit of pain when she was painting her, but then she sent healing to her heart, if that makes sense. So, we even see like here her arms aren't fully whole. Like she's kind of octopus lady, like she's not quite whole, but like I feel like that's a little bit of you. Like perhaps you haven't fully healed within yourself. I mean, we all have our own sense of pains and feelings of like not being whole and not being worthy, or we just all have our own sense of pain to heal from on earth. You know what I mean? But that's the difference between you and others, because some people are not whole or aren't fully healed, but then they put that pain onto others from their own heart, whereas you are like the wounded healer, if that makes sense. um Perhaps research the story of Chiron and the wounded healer. Um, but yeah, that's the feeling I get from you. You're the wounded healer. You take your wounds and you heal other people with it, and you give love to other people from your wounds, instead of hurting them with your wounds, if that makes sense. Um, and I feel like your love is healing in a sense, and that's what makes you different from others. But also the fact that when you create a cord from your heart to someone else's, when you connect to them deeply through love, it's healing without even you setting the intention to. So I'm seeing it like spiritually from your auras. Like when you hug someone, you send healing to their heart, or like when you talk to someone and you're speaking to them lovingly, you send them love from your heart from to their heart, and it's healing to them. But I feel like the magic is within your heart, like almost like your heart is like a beautiful portal full of love that overflows. But I feel like it's you that holds that magic within your own heart. That's why I say your gift is a little bit different, where you first pour that love into you, and when you pour that love into you, you have enough to overflow onto others. But not only that, not only the fact that you should pour into you first so that you have enough to overflow onto others, it's also the fact that when you pour that love into you, you're pouring that healing into you. Like I said, when you send love to people, it's healing. But when you send love to yourself, it's also healing, right? But you're also kind of pouring this magical energy of love into yourself when you do that. And then it's more potent towards others, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it right, but I don't know why the messages are coming out quite spiritual today. But this is just what I'm seeing about like what makes you different to others. In terms of your soul is really beautiful, my Palaba ones. Your heart is really beautiful too. And I hope you do come to wholeness within this, because I feel like your energy is really healing, and the more you learn to use this gift with love and pour that love within you, the more you're sending healing to yourself, and the more you're able to heal others. And I feel like your healing energy is different to others. So firstly, what makes you different is your love and your gift of love and all that I mentioned there, and your ability to be very empathic to others, and your ability to speak love into others and send love into others with healing. But I also feel like you have a gift of healing which makes you different to others, but your gift of healing comes from your heart space, if that makes sense. So it's like a secondary gift to the first gift that comes from the love, if that makes sense. So I'm seeing your gift of healing is different to others' gifts of healing, because you're able to send healing to plants, you're able to send healing to animals, and you're also able to send healing to humans. So it's like a vast amount of love. Like some of you love to garden or have plants in your homes, things like that. Some of you just love animals. And I spoke about a cat and playfulness, like, and they say that cats are like human walking, not human. They say that cats and like dogs, we see even a dog here, are kind of like walking crystals, if that makes sense. Because animals' energies are very healing because they're full of love. And I feel like that's almost like you, my pile number ones. Um, that's the feeling I get. So this is my playful pile. I haven't gotten this message in a while, but I used to always get a pile like a few months ago or a month ago, where each time I would see animals and like that playfulness of animals, like not saying you are an animal, but like you have that playfulness of like a dog, of a cat, you know. So I guess this is my pile of, playfulness. So yeah, that's what makes you different from others, your playfulness, but also your healing energy. The fact that you can put healing energy into animals, into humans, but also into plants. And it's almost like you can make plants grow with your love. Spirit is showing me. It's quite funny. I had a Sims character like a few months ago. I think in December or so, because I haven't been playing Sims in a while. I've just been too busy. But I had a Sims character and she was kind of gardening, pouring the water onto the garden, and then she was singing while she was doing it. But the feeling I got from it was like the singing was like healing to the plants. So some of you, like Spirit is showing me that some of you have very healing voices as well, and that's what makes you different to others. This wasn't going to be a reading about your gifts, but this is coming through. So I guess your gifts make you different to others. But it's beautiful and it makes you shine and it makes you like some of you could be, some of you could be like really loving plants and really loving plants in your home or really loving to garden, whereas some of you could love to sing and have that healing energy in your singing or your voice or like writing or just like art, because the sun can also represent something creative. And we have the magician here. Some of you put healing into cooking, baking, and that makes you different to others. Or you're able to put love into it and it's healing from that. The Ace of Wands is also that energy of creation, and we also have the artist. So there is a lot of creative energy here, where you're able to put that healing energy into objects even, like painting or baking. Those are just things I can think of right now. Drawing, singing. So that's something I feel here. I'm also hearing poetry. So yeah, that's the feeling I get here, of what makes you different to others. But I also feel like Spirit is showing me the peacock. And that's what makes you different to others, because the peacock is like that kind of energy of, it naturally stands out and shines when it takes out its feathers, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's you. That's what makes you different to others. And, peacocks have that rainbow, and we also see a rainbow here. Now I'm hearing that song, She's Like a Rainbow. I think I'm gonna make your pile a little bit longer than usual, but I have so much to say here and so much I'm seeing. But I love these messages coming through. So I feel like with the rainbow energy, rainbow reminds me of like rainbow after the storm, which leads back to that healing energy. But also, rainbow to me, like with the peacock, is being able to see things from all sides, not just two sides, but all 7 sides. You're able to see life in different colors. You're able to see life through a colorful, playful perspective, as we see here with the inner child and the sun. But also the Fool card, you're able to see life from a playful, loving perspective from all sides of the coin, So you have a very multi-dimensional energy to you. I feel like with the rainbow, perhaps some of you have a rainbow aura, where it's different to everyone because most people just have like one color, whereas you resonate on different frequencies. Some of you, this message, if you know what your aura color is, some of you have pink auras or green auras with the love. But I'm feeling a lot of you have pink auras. So yeah, I don't know if you can see your own aura. Let me know in the comments if what your aura color is, because I'm just interested in knowing. But I feel like maybe some of you also have blue. But yeah, that's the feeling I get from you, of what makes you different to others. Like you're able to see life through a beautiful lens, through a colorful perspective, and you're able to create your reality through this colorful perspective. Like I said in the beginning with that message of each day is a new canvas and you get to create your reality. Your mind is your paintbrush and your actions are creating that reality, and your intentions and your thoughts. Okay? So that's the message I kind of see here. You have a lot of this energy of creation within you with the Ace of Wands, with the artist. Some of you are actually creative and your creative style is different to others, is really standing out, is healing, or you just create your reality as you go along and you pave your path and you create your reality kind of like with love and with a playful perspective. So I feel like this may be something in your path where you're meant to do this, if that makes sense. Kind of create your reality and teach others that they can too. Or just show others by leading by example. Because the feeling I get here is almost like, let's say someone was complaining to you and they were like, oh, I don't have money, blah, 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 blah. Like, and then you say something really wise with the Hierophant and you're like, you're speaking that into your reality. Don't speak that into your reality. Like, I feel like you're very wise with the Hierophant, and that also makes you different from others. You're able to see things from a higher perspective. And I'm also feeling a really angelic, pure energy from you, my pal number ones. You're very loving souls that come from a pure type of essence. I don't know why I'm getting this message, but some of you some of you have like a fairy kind of essence. Like I'm getting fairy vibes from you, if that makes sense. And I feel like if you were a fairy, you'd kind of be flying with the butterflies, flying with the dragonflies. Perhaps you have that kind of essence, or perhaps that's something you've been in past lives if you're drawn to that. And that makes you different from others. But yeah, I feel like what makes you different from others as well is your ability to emotionally regulate yourself. Because you're so empathic, you can kind of stand out. Like, you know, we even have a star here and heal and like all of that. But at the same time, what makes you different is your ability to heal yourself and emotionally regulate your emotions, even if you have been hurt. There's this feeling of like you're not perfect, but Spirit is saying what makes you different to others is others will just accept their reality and be like, okay, I've been hurt, it means I'm gonna get hurt forever. You know, like that. Whereas you will see a thought that is something you don't want. That comes from a shadow self kind of view, or a wounded inner child kind of view, and you will go and investigate that thought or that trigger or that wound or why you're feeling that certain type of way, and you will emotionally regulate yourself and balance yourself out in that way through that, if that makes sense. I'm also feeling like some of you can emotionally heal through your art and balance out your emotions through artistic types of creations, if that makes sense. Even if it's not artistic, just putting that energy of creation into what you do, and you're able to go deep within yourself, deep within your subconscious mind and your soul, and find out where it comes from, if that makes sense. So that makes you different from others, because others kind of like fight off love and they're scared of love as well because they've been hurt before, whereas you try to investigate why that thought is there or why that feeling is there and create something different and go towards something new, if that makes sense. I'm not saying we should avoid the bad things in life, but I just mean it in a sense of like other people will kind of be like, okay, for example, I've dated two people and they both cheated on me. I guess I'm meant to be cheated on forever. Like that kind of energy. Whereas you're not like that. You're like, why has this happened twice? There's certainly a deep reason behind that, a wound behind that. I need to investigate that and change my reality, if that makes sense. And that makes you different from others, because the fool's opposite the artist. So you're always down to changing your reality and going to new paradigms, and that makes you different from others. I also feel like you're wise within your choices. You make choices with love, and that makes you different from others, whereas others may make choices from a shadow kind of self or hurt or pain, whereas you make choices from love, even towards your friendships. I'm seeing that very clearly, and that makes you different to others. And you have ability to kind of merge with the divine and create, if that makes sense. So I'm seeing some of you have like the ability to kind of merge with spirit, if that makes sense. Some of you were from Lemuria, because this is reminding me of Lemurian energy, because even with the octopus lady here, there's different stories on how these half beings came about in Lemuria, but a lot of stories they've heard is that they merged with other beings and then they got stuck like that. So it's not to scare you at all, but it's one story I've heard, whereas other stories I've heard were they were experimented on, or like there was a lot of portals being opened and then they merged, and then something went wrong where those portals closed up and then they couldn't merge back to their normal selves, if that makes sense. So there's lots of stories that go around, but perhaps you're able to merge with spirit in a spiritual type of sense, not your physical body, but your spiritual body, and pull information down to your heart and create from that, if that makes sense, artistically. That makes you different from others. But even that telephone cord thing I said, like through the heart, kind of gives me that energy of like merging, like your soul is able to merge with other people's souls, not in a way of like I'm stuck there forever, but in a sense of like when you give people love, your hearts merge together for a few seconds and then it goes back, if that makes sense. Not completely, but like I feel it in the sense of like you see life from the perspective of we're all one and we should all give each other love. So that makes you very different from others. But I feel like you're also very creative. You stand out in your own way. You kind of spread love and sunshine and butterflies and rainbows everywhere you go. You have this playful perspective to life, and You're very, very fun to be around, and you make life fun with the sun and the magician. You kind of create your reality around you with love, and you make it fun. And what makes you different from others is, your ability to kind of be satisfied with life and not, how do I put this in words? Not chase things outside of you, but create, if that makes sense. So that's what I see here, and you're very wise, you stand out, you're very deep as well, and that makes you different from others. The fact that you have your inner child with you, the fact that you see life from a playful lens, playful perspective, and you're able to stand out while doing so. I feel like you're very multi-dimensional beings, my pal number ones, and that makes you different from others. And the fact that you are able to play, laugh, bring that into other people's lives, remind them of their own inner child, is something I see here. And that makes you different to others, my pal number ones. So I'm feeling like a pain in my right foot now as I am ending off. So I don't want this reading to put you off balance, because the foot to me is like balance. And grounding. So I don't want this reading to put you off balance. So really ground after this reading, ground into your heart space, let go of all fears, and take these messages as something beautiful. But also know that, to me, the feet also represent the next step, because our feet take us places, you know what I mean? Take this message and see it as something beautiful, from a beautiful perspective, from the beautiful lens you see life from. Ignore that Lemuria message. Don't let anything, scare you from this reading for some of you. Take this perspective and create with it, and use it for your next steps, if that makes sense. So this was your message, your reading on what makes you different from others, my pal number ones. I really hope that this resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pal number twos. If you chose this amethyst crystal, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what makes you different from others. So please be aware this is a general reading, to only take what resonates and leave what doesn't, as the messages may differ for everyone watching. If you can hear the gardeners in the background making noises, I apologize in advance. As I was busy with pile number one, they started. So yeah, you chose the card Realm Bridger. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of your cards now. Okay, for your cards we have Reclaim Your Energy, we have the Page of Wands, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have Forge Don't Follow, with Pave a New Path, Be the Leader You Wish You Had. We have the King of Pentacles, we have the Ten of Cups, we have the Death card, and lastly we have the Temperance card. We have the Star, the High Priestess, we have the Five of Pentacles, and lastly we have the Lovers. Okay, my pal number twos. Now that we have your cards laid out, I see exactly what makes you different from others. So I want to say it's not a coincidence that all three cards have a bit of purple in it and you chose the amethyst crystal. I feel like you are my pile of very, very intuitive people that are in tune with the universe, with spirituality, with the, higher realms. I mean, even the star talks about a person that has one foot in the earthly realm and one foot in the spiritual realms. And I feel like that's you, my pal number twos, and that's what makes you very different from others. So it is not a coincidence that purple showed up in all three oracle cards, as well as, your crystal. I did not know why I chose the amethyst, but I felt like amethyst was needed, and it just proves to me, I mean, even the fact that we see a purple crystal here, just want to show you quickly, like here. So that's very interesting, my pal number twos. Very, very interesting. I feel like you're naturally intuitive, you're naturally in tune with the universe's energy, with the kind of energy of, like, some of you may have different type of gifts, but like the feeling I get is you can almost see into other realms, other spiritual realms, if that makes sense, that many people can't see on earth. So what I mean by this is it's similar to something I have, like the gift I have, where I can see auras on the walls. I can see things that we can't necessarily see in the physical realm, but I can see it in the spiritual realm. Like if you see here with this onion and the reclaim your energy, I feel like you're able to see, because onion to me reminds me of like vampire energy. Like, you know how they say onions chase away the vampires, but I see that as like almost like energy, vampire energy. Not you, but like you can see when people are not necessarily in the sense of like spiritual energy vampire, like, oh, I'm stealing your energy. Not in that sense. I just mean it in the sense of like people that are using others, people that have negative intentions, people that are just not good. Their energy is just not good. I feel like you can see through people like that, if that makes sense. And that makes you very different from others, because others may fall for their tricks, whereas you, my pal number twos, can see right through a person. And, we even see an eye on this. So you are like a narcissist's worst enemy. That's what I feel here, because you can see right through them. You can see right through people that are lying, that are deceitful, you know what I mean? And that is something I feel you have a gift of, my pal number two. So I want you to know this makes you very different from others in the sense where you can see further in people where something's not right, something's off, and other people may look at this and fall for that person's charm or their tricks or their manipulation tactics, whereas you don't. And that sets you apart from others in the sense where others may not look at it the same way as you because they can't see further into it. And I mean, you even have the high priestess here, and she's holding onto her book. In a sense, she's not showing us the book. She's not being like, look, I'm intuitive, here's my book, but she's holding it clutched in her hand. So I see this message as like, you can see deeper into people, but sometimes others don't understand it. They don't quite get it. And Spirit is taking me back to something I wrote. And I didn't write this intentionally in my notes. You know when you're just like having your phone down and then like you write something but then autocorrect writes something else? So I'm gonna find it. Maybe this was for you. Where is it now? Huns, people just don't know it. I think Spirit was trying to say Hun because it wrote Hunst. People just don't know it. I don't know why that was there, but yeah. Perhaps that was for you. People just don't know it, hun. Like, people just don't see it the way you do. And that's okay. They are not at your level yet, you know what I mean? Of intuition. So keep your kind of visions to yourself, like Fleetwood Mac said in her song. And kind of, I felt a breeze over me as I said that. So Spirit is sending you healing through this. But know that if you see these things in people, just trust your intuition, because I feel like you're able to see through other realms, through portals, through things like that. Some of you have, abilities of like astral travel or just seeing in between realms, if that makes sense. Because even this background here reminds me of like portals I've seen on walls. The one day I woke up in the morning and I saw portals on the walls, and later on I saw it was a portal day and it looked exactly like this. So it's quite interesting, and here we see Realm Bridger, but she's seeing in between the realms, in between the portals of the realms. You get what I mean? So some of you, I'm hearing like you're able to shift your reality very quickly because of that. Because you're not in the sense of like oh, I'm jumping in a portal and I'm shifting realities. Not in that sense, but in the sense of like you can see things deeper than the average human can, intuitively, and you'll be like, okay, for example, with the Death card and the Temperance card, let's say you want love, for example, a romantic relationship, and you're like, why am I always attracting people? Let's use this example, people that want to use me, because we saw that here. Let's say, why am I always attracting people that want to use me? And then I'm going to look back at my life intuitively and notice the patterns there and see what I need to let go of with the Death card in order to change this reality, to heal this reality with the Temperance card and balance things out, bring things back to balance. You know what I mean? You're able to do that, and as you do that, you shift your reality and you change your reality, and then you see, oh, this is just an example, doesn't have to be taken as exact. I have been overgiving to people where I give and I don't get anything back in return. And as much as it's a beautiful trait to give and to be a generous person, some people see that as a weakness if they are a manipulative person. I don't mind giving to people and giving love to people, but perhaps I should pull back there and balance out that energy to be more in balance with giving and receiving. That's just an example. Doesn't have to be taken as exact, but it's like the energy I'm seeing. Or like, let's say, I want friendships. I want good friendships, but each time I meet someone, I see that they have different values as me. So then I'd look back at my life and be like, okay, what do I need to let go of here? What part of me needs to kind of die to shift my reality? Not necessarily physically die, but like metaphorically. You get what I mean? What part of me needs to be balanced out with the Temperance card and healed with the Star card? So let's say I look back at my life and I see, in the friendships I've had, I've gone with the flow and they had different values as me, but then I see that, okay, when they have those different values as me, I'm not a judgmental person, so I don't judge them, I just allow them to be. And that's a perfectly okay thing to do. But then I actually go with what they say instead of what my values are. So like, let's say, for example, that friend wants to go out and go clubbing, but I don't really like clubbing. But because I value them as a friend, I'm like, okay, let's go clubbing. But then I'm going against my own wants and needs to please another person unintentionally. So you see like how things like that can kind of bring us to cycles of enabling what we don't want in our life. So I don't mean that literally. Those were just examples. If you don't resonate with those examples, that's completely okay. I'm just using things that I've noticed in my own life. You get what I mean? As an example. So whatever you see is not the reality you want to live, and you notice a pattern, you're able to let that pattern end so that you can pave a new path, as we see here. So that you can shift your reality, heal it, and balance it out. Not in the sense of magical, but like just in the sense of once you balance something out and heal something, that cycle ends and a new cycle is created. Do you get what I mean? So you pave your own unique path as you go along. And that makes you very different from others. Your ability to sense energies and see through different realms and kind of transform the energies. And this gift of you seeing into different realms spiritually, how do I put this in words? Helps you be able to pave your own path and see deeper than just the physical 3D reality. Like, okay, if I make this decision, I'm at a crossroads here. If I make this decision, this is how my life is going to end up, because I can see deeper into it. Whereas if I make this decision, this is how my life is going to end up. Which decision am I going to make? And then you intuitively choose. Do you get what I mean? So that is what makes you very different and unique to other people, because you're able to kind of pave your own path spiritually and see deeper into each decision, if that makes sense, and kind of change your reality as you go along. You're forging your own unique path in this lifetime. And you're not listening to others in this lifetime. You're going to the beat of your own drum. And that's what makes you different to others. And with this energy, I'd say don't listen to what others say. If you feel like, okay, for example, let's say your friend says, oh, you should do this and this and this, not that. If you feel you intuitively see this path and they're seeing this path, but you can see deeper than they can see, and you can see what this path leads to, and like I said, Huns, they just don't know it. They just don't see it deeper like you do. You're going to trust your own intuition and follow that path that you see for yourself. You get what I mean? Or idea or something like that. Or let's say you listen to a tarot reading, and of course it's good to get guidance from other people, but if you naturally intuitively see that message wasn't for you, then don't take it. You get what I mean? Or let's say, you know how different tarot readers have things from different perspectives, because we've all seen life through different eyes and had different types of lessons, different types of experiences, and you see that this tarot reader is saying something, but it doesn't sit right with your soul. You know, you're meant to make your own decisions in this lifetime and pave your own unique path. So that is just something to be discerning of. When other people tell you what to do, they may come from the best and most loving point of view, or their advice may come from a loving place, but they haven't lived your life or walked in your shoes. So that is just the kind of message I see here from Spirit, to discern what messages to take, to discern what ideas or advice to take from others, because they may come from the best loving intentions, but they haven't lived life in your shoes. Do you get what I mean? And they don't see things further than you do. So that is your message of what makes you different to others. And I feel like you're able to see deeper into Akashic records with the High Priestess, and she's holding a book. You're able to see into people's past lives much easier than others, and that's what makes you different to others. Akashic records kind of gives me the energy of like, it reminds me of my own gifts, which is why I can relate to this. Like with the portals and everything, like of course everyone here has different gifts, different abilities with their intuitiveness. It's important to realize how your intuition comes through. So for example, let's say you have a lot of dreams. You have vivid dreams. That's falling under clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. If you close your eyes and you see visions, or you're able to imagine things very deeply, that is also falling under clairvoyance, clear seeing. If you're able to see auras, that is clairvoyance, clear seeing. If you're able to see into people's souls and see it, that is clairvoyance, clear seeing. If you're able to feel energies, feel people's emotions, feel people's physical pains, feel people's hearts, feel people's soul and what their soul really is, then that is clear sentience, which is clear feeling. Okay, so there's different types of gifts with different senses. If you're able to hear spirit, just hear music in your head, have music play over and over in your head, and they have messages in those songs, or hear words, or like intuitive words from spirit, or just hear things like maybe even ringing in your ears, or light language from spirit, then you fall under the category of clear hearing, which is clairaudience. Okay. Or if you hear messages from other people where they just say something from spirit that you're meant to hear, that's clairaudience. If you're able to taste energies, like let's say you connect to someone and all of a sudden you taste honey in your mouth. Perhaps they were eating honey, or perhaps their energy is like honey, then you'd Google the spiritual meaning of honey. Or let's say you have the spiritual sense of taste and you taste cigarettes in your mouth. Perhaps a person was smoking a cigarette, or a cigarette has a deeper meaning behind it, like the person is going through addictions. You get what I mean? So that is the clear taste. I forgot what it's called. But then we also have clear smell, which is the ability to smell things in the spiritual realm. So let's say someone's grandma passed and their grandma wore a specific type of perfume and you smell that. That means you're sensing that spirit around through the sense of smell. Or let's say you're in your home, but I'm going to use an example my client used where she was using shampoo at home. She used a specific type of shampoo. Her husband was at work and he said to her, "Why are you using this specific type of shampoo? I'm smelling it. Is that you? Because you never use that shampoo. You use a different shampoo." That's like an example of it. Do you get what I mean? So pay attention to how they come through your senses. There's of course different types of gifts as well, broader than that, like telepathy, seeing into portals, mediumship. There's different types of abilities, but like pay attention to how they come through, because I feel like some people can have more than one, and some people can have one that is the strongest, and then a little bit of others. Pay attention to how it comes through and record it, because that's going to help you really broaden and expand your intuition. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing you have, like, what I was trying to get to here was, I feel like you have the ability to see into people's souls and who they've been in past lives and their Akashic records, and you're able to see a person deeply for who they are in their soul, and not only see things in them, but grow things in them and heal things from them as you see that. Because we see a person and making the plant grow on this little ball. I think it's like a planet. They're able to make these flowers bloom in the spiritual realms. This person is making flowers, vines grow there. Like, do you get what I mean? So it's almost like you see things in people, their true self, their true form, or feel their true form, however you get the sense. And then you're able to grow things within them and heal things within them. Almost like, let's say you saw a pain in someone from a past life or from this life, then you're able to heal it in their soul and then grow like beautiful gardens in their soul, as an example. So that's something I see heavily, but like the feeling I get here is um, the one day I saw someone close to me as a tiger. Um, I saw their face morph into a tiger, and then a year later, I had a vision of us being on Lyra together, and their face looked exactly like that tiger I saw their face morph into. And then earlier on this week, a child said to this specific person, "You look like a lion," as a joke. But this child was probably intuitive and saw this person's soul that is close to me. So that's an example of how we can see a person's true form, their soul from past lives even. We can either see their face morph or we can feel something from it that feels different, if that makes sense. Or like it kind of gives me the energy of like, you know how we say when we see someone from a past life and then we feel like we've met them before, their face looks familiar or their soul feels familiar. It's the same kind of energy. You get what I mean? So I feel like you're able to see deeper into people's Akashic records and their soul and who they are as a person. Heal that, but then grow something within them. But you can also do this for yourself, my pal number twos. And I just bit my tongue as I said that. So I'm going to take that as like, you know how I said keep your visions to yourself and hence people just don't know it. Be careful who you tell this information to. Okay, because some people may just not understand it. Okay, so yeah, I see that that is what makes you very different to others. I didn't want to go off on that forever, but it's the overall message I'm seeing of how intuitive you are, and that makes you very different and unique. But you also have a healing energy with the star. And you're also able to grow yourself and others and change and shift timelines, and you pave your own unique path. I feel like you're also very loving souls, and that makes you different from others. You're very nurturing when it comes to your close relationships. And you're able to heal people's inner childs is something I'm seeing by giving them love and nurturing. Similar to pile number one, where I saw like a lot of healing energy. I feel like you also have a lot of healing energy, but not only healing, you're able to grow things in people, shift timelines, things like that, see what choices make what outcomes. I feel like you're also able to heal money wounds within people since it's opposite the star, the King of Pentacles, but you're also very good with money in a sense, and you're able to track finances and know how to make more money. That's something I'm seeing within your cards. But I'm also seeing that like whatever you put work to in career, it grows beautifully. Like you naturally just shine in your career because the star is opposite the King of Pentacles, and whatever you put that your heart into grows into beautiful flowers, you know. You get recognition from it, you know what I mean? And you really shine in whatever you do in your career, something I'm seeing, and that makes you different from others. I see that you treat those you love like family. You're very nurturing to those you love, and that makes you different from others. You're able to let go of things, balance energies out. That makes you different from others. You're very playful souls with the Page of Wands. You haven't forgotten your inner child, but you're also able to heal other people's inner child and bring that out of them when they're too serious or too grumpy. You know what I mean? So that's what I see there. That makes you very different from others. You're able to turn the wheel of your fate and not just rely on fate to pass you by. You actually go out there and create your own path, and that makes you different from others. You turn the wheel of your own fate and don't just wait for fate, and that makes you very different from others. I also feel here you have very big hearts, and you see life as an adventure to jump into with each decision you make. You're also very sweet people, very sweet, loving people, and that makes you different from others. And you see life as a joyful, pleasurable thing. You know what I mean? So that is what I see in your cards. You see life as a joyful, beautiful thing. You see life through the lens of a playful perspective, but also a loving perspective. You have a huge, huge, huge heart, and that makes you different from others. And you also have this fire within you that allows you to create whatever reality you want to create. And, you know, you jump into different paradigms and you see each like day is a new adventure to jump into and to have fun with and to make your life a beautiful, amazing experience. And that makes you different from others. I also see you're very consistent when it comes to the things you love, people you love, work, etc., etc., and that makes you different from others. You're very emotionally balanced within your own energy, and that makes you different from others. And I don't feel like you're materialistic people, and that makes you very different from others, but you're able to create wealth but not hold on to or cling to it, if that makes sense, and that makes you different from others. So yeah, I feel like you're just very unique souls with very unique gifts. I spent a little bit long on, you know, talking about the intuitive side, but I feel like those messages needed to come out because I feel like that was the overall message here, and paving your own unique path. Of course, you have, you know, all the other traits I mentioned, but I feel like that is the main message here, that you are someone that paves your own unique path and you see deeper through it than the average human does, and that's what makes you different to others. Okay, my pal number twos, I really hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pal number threes. If you chose the citrine crystal, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what makes you different to others. Okay, so please be aware this is a general reading to only take what resonates and leave the rest, as the messages may differ for everyone watching. You chose the card Gracious Receptivity. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of your cards for you. Okay, so for your cards, we have Solar Plexus Chakra with Radiant Illumination. We have the Six of Coins, which is the Six of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Swords. We have Double Mission with Lightworker Starseed. Serve the world by being you. We have the Two of Swords in reverse. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Three of Cups. We have the Three of Wands. Interesting, we see 333 here. Okay. Next we have the Eight of Cups. We have the Fool. We have the Sun card. And lastly, we have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, my pal number threes, now that we have your cards laid out, I see exactly what makes you different to others. So first off, I'm picking up immediately that this is my pile of pure souls, my angelic earth angels. If you're new to this channel, I always pick up a certain pile that are kind of like these pure loving souls, gentle souls, earth angel souls, that are kind of meant to bring those heavenly angelic energies down to earth as like almost like a messenger angel to people on earth, or bringing that harmony and balance to earth. And I'm seeing that immediately within your energy, and that is what makes you very unique and what makes you different to others, because the feeling I get here is not many people have that pure angelic energy, and it's an amazing quality and trait to have. I feel like, a lot of you could have had past lives being angels, and perhaps this is why I'm picking it up, because I've noticed within my readings, I will often have people that are drawn to me, like watching my readings on YouTube, or buying actual physical readings from me, where they have a lot of similarities to me. You get what I mean? So there's this feeling of like, sometimes people, when they read cards, they're able to see into things they have specifically had experiences with very deeply. You get what I mean? So that's probably why I'm able to see into yours very deeply. I had a specific client, I'm not going to mention the name, but came to me for a reading and wanted to do a past life reading. And it's reminding me of this energy where I did a reading and I saw it was not a life on earth, it was a life in the spiritual realms. And I'm just going to use this as an example, where I saw this person had become an angel and was, working with Mother Mary, Archangel Michael, and it was really a beautiful, beautiful reading. And this person healed so many people while they were an angel. They guided so many people while they were an angel, but they also learned more than 100 lifetimes of lessons while being an angel. So I feel like that's your energy, my pile number 3, is perhaps you've been angels in past lives, and now you have that purpose with the double mission card to bring those angelic realms to earth, if that makes sense. So the thing is, you have a very different soul to others because of that energy, and you're very different to others in the sense of your purpose is very different to others, where they just have normal purposes, but yours is much greater. And that's not to say in a superficial, egotistical way, but you just have a strong purpose, a strong mission on earth, to bring those higher realms down to earth, to bring that love down to earth, to bring that light down to earth. And that is what makes you unique and special and very different to others, because you're very loving. You see things from a higher perspective. You're also very generous, with the 6 of Pentacles coming up twice. You're very generous, loving souls, and I can already immediately feel that from your energy. You don't discriminate against others. You give love to others. You're very generous with your time, your energy, your love, and that is already making you that earth angel on earth. You're already in line with your purpose by being in that energy of love and leading by example, by teaching others to be that loving energy. So when I say you're earth angels, I don't mean that you are completely perfect, because I understand that living on earth there is a duality, but I just mean it in the sense of you have a lot less duality than most people, if that makes sense. So I don't mean it in a way of like egotistical kind of way, but I just mean it in the sense of you have a lot more light than most people, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I feel. It makes you very different to others because you have a very unique, strong purpose, and I feel like you're able to kind of bring a lot of love down to earth. You're able to kind of lead by example and show people the way, show people the path, since this is opposite the 3 of Wands. And that's what makes you very unique and different to others. So I feel with this energy, some people can become very codependent towards you, where it's important to have boundaries. Because I feel like the energy I feel here is you're able to see things from a higher perspective. I feel like you've had people put anger onto you, put the nastiest things onto you. And you're still able to stop, embrace that moment of pain, because the pain teaches us something greater. Break and shatter that illusion with the Queen of Swords, with the mirror shattered at the back, and realize that that doesn't come from you, it comes from their pain. Feel that feeling of pain within you. Heal that feeling of pain within you, and soften yourself to love where you don't do that to others. I feel like that makes you very different to others in a sense, because you may have a lot of people that are drawn to you where, I wouldn't say broken souls, but I just mean people that have been through that type of pain, that need a little bit of extra love, nurturing, and care. You know what I mean? And I feel like those souls are naturally drawn to you, and you are very generous people, and that's what makes you you. That's what makes you different. But I think it's important to also have certain boundaries up and have certain limits, especially because, you know, of course these people need a little bit of extra tender love and care, but there also needs to be a balance where, how do I put this in words? There also needs to be a balance where they are learning their own lessons, and you're not coddling them to learn those lessons. I don't think you do this, but I think this is just a message from Spirit to make sure the energy's balanced, because the Six of Pentacles reminds me of the Justice card. You know what I mean? And that balancing out of energies. Because sometimes we want to help others, but then perhaps their lesson is actually to learn from that hardship. You get what I mean? So of course, be your generous self, be your most generous self, but learn when to step back and when to set a boundary. So that's the energy I feel. It's not to say that that's a bad trait. I love that you're generous people. You know, not many people can hold that amount of generosity and give love to others when others have given you pain. You know what I mean? I feel like you are naturally empathetic souls, and you can see things from a higher perspective. You can see why people are being mean, nasty, angry. You see that it comes from their deeper pain, but you can also be empathetic towards people that have received that, where you see that they didn't deserve that type of treatment, and you naturally want to give them love and care for them. It's giving me like mama bird energy. You know what I mean? Not having to do with gender, but I just mean that energy, and it's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. But I think that was just like a message from Spirit to just make sure that energy is balanced. But this is what makes your soul beautiful. You know what I mean? The fact that you are so generous, the fact that you're so loving. Even when others have put that pain onto you, you soften to love. And that's what makes your soul so incredible and unique and different, but beautiful. Okay? And it makes your soul shine in a beautiful way. Your soul shines in a beautiful way, my pal number 3s, like the sun. You have a lot of light within you, like the sun. And I want you to know that you give that sunshine energy to others by just being you. By just being yourself. You're already in your purpose by just being yourself. And that's what makes you different and unique to others. Because I feel like you make people feel safe with your presence. I feel like you're very safe people to be around. Funny that I hear kids playing outside now. You're very fun and loving, and also safe to be around. You make people feel safe. Sorry if you can hear those kids playing in the background. They love to scream and play. It's funny that I say safe and then those kids are screaming. It's funny. Okay, anyways, yeah, I feel like don't let it contradict my message, but that is the message I'm seeing. Okay? I feel like you naturally are able to come back home to yourself with love, even though others have brought you pain, but you're not afraid to walk away from people like that, because I don't feel like you, like, even though you can see where their pain comes from and you can give them empathy, you're not going to enable them by staying in their life, and you're not afraid to walk away from people where you see they have bad intentions towards you, where they're lying, where they're being sneaky, where they're being not good. You know, you're not going to be like those kids that run around in circles and scream. You're going to walk away from it. You get what I mean? Um, yeah, I just feel that energy, like you aren't afraid to walk away from things, situations, people that don't serve you. And that's what makes you very different and unique, because you're able to see and empathize with those people and where their darker pain comes from, where their darker shadow self aspect comes from, and empathize with it. But you're not going to enable their behavior by staying around while it happens. And I feel like you're very loving people, but you're also very much in your truth with the Queen of Swords. You give me like very Libra energy. I don't know why. Some of you are Libras or have Libra placements in your chart. Like I feel the energy of truth and of doing what is right. You know what I mean? Of balance, like the justice scales. That's why I was seeing like that message to make sure it's balanced. Yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing that. Or some of you could be air signs. But I'm seeing like truth is very important to you and you're a very truthful person. Even if that person, like with the shattered illusion in the back with the mirror, because mirrors relate to truth, and when mirror is shattered, it's like an illusion that is being shattered. So I feel like, of course, you're very empathetic towards people, but you're truthful when they're doing something wrong. You call people out when they're doing something wrong in a kind way, and that is what makes you also different to others. Your ability to speak from a place of truth, but also be at a place of love when you do so. Your ability to do what is right, to do what is fair, what is balanced, and to really care for people and be generous. I feel like you're the type of people that are going to make, a lot of money in this lifetime and then be generous with that money, give to lots of charities. Or I feel like these are probably my pile of people that would, Spirit is showing me, I think it was Yasmin from Bratz, where she was like, she wanted to make an animal shelter to rescue animals because she felt so sorry for the animals being in the rain. Like, it was a movie where, I can't remember what movie it was, but what Bratz movie it was, but it was storming outside, and she was like, I feel so sorry for the little puppies and the little animals that are outside. Like, I feel like you're that type of caring person, or the type to one day plan to help others, or to build a community of some sort. And that's what makes you different to others, because you're this very pure soul that gives without the expectation of receiving something in return. And as much as, you're balanced in your energy, fair, right, like truthful, you're also very loving and very giving. And I feel like that's what makes your soul so beautiful. I feel like you're really much a leader in human form by just being you. You being you teaches others by example, if that makes sense. And I feel like you're a people's person, if that makes sense. Like, people love you. People really love you. You're the type of person that works well with others, that helps others grow by just leading by example and showing them by walking your own path with the Three of Wands. And that's what makes, I feel like this is what makes your soul very beautiful and unique and different. Because you pave your own path like pile number twos, but it's a unique path where you're walking that path and then others follow you on that path, if that makes sense. And I feel like others really love you. People really love you. People love how you are able to work with others like a team, in your friendships, in your families, in your love romantic connections. You're able to work with people like a team. Even I'm picking up on work, like you're kind of like a team player on Earth. You don't see Earth as like a war between people. You see it as like, how can we work together and build together? And that's the energy I feel from you of what makes you different, my pile number threes. But you're also just like these kind of souls that spread sunshine and joy everywhere. That's what I feel. You're very playful souls at the same time, and your mind is beautiful, your mind is vast, and you're able to plan things, analyze things, really go for things you want, and you have that key in your hands to create a lot in this lifetime. But I feel like you're also not materialistic in a sense. You're able to rationalize things, solve problems, really see deeper behind some things, really analyze things. And that's what makes you different and unique. But you're also intuitive at the same time, where you're able to sense where something comes from, where a deeper problem comes from, analyze it and change it, if that makes sense. I feel like you're my people that would be the best to go on holiday trips with, because you're able to plan things correctly, see things in details, allow things to grow. You're the type of people that are always striving for growth and expansion with the 333. You're very supportive people as well. And that's what makes you different and unique and beautiful, my pile number threes. I just feel like you're very also playful, and your mind is very intelligent at the same time. So you have those two sides to you. Like your mind is beautiful and intelligent, but at the same time you're very playful. You haven't lost that playful side of you. So that is what I'm seeing here. If you can hear the gardeners in the background, I apologize in advance. They've been gardening all morning on and off. Okay, so with the Two of Swords reverse, I feel like when I spoke about leaving people behind or things behind, I feel like sometimes you naturally, because you're so loving and pure souls, sometimes you want to stay behind and teach those people the right way or the right path. Not in the sense of you want to fix them or change them, but I feel like you naturally have a lot of healing energy, and you subconsciously know that, and there's this feeling of like you want to stay and help them, but you also want to take back your own power and not allow others to treat you with disrespect, or to stay with things or people or situations that don't serve you. But at the same time, you kind of want to heal that thing and grow it, if that makes sense. So it creates a sort of like hesitancy or delay with leaving that thing behind. But I feel like it's important to discern. Like I said, with that Libra energy I was seeing of the justice scales, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a Libra, but it could just be the overall message to see things from a place of truth, from a place of balance, and to make your decisions in that way, like as they do in the law. They take the facts and only the facts and not the emotion. And the Queen of Swords talks about doing what is right, not from a place of emotion. She is a very loving and caring person, but she does what is right. So I see that message to kind of discern where to balance those energies out, where to give someone a chance, where you can see their kind of potential and help them grow, but do they see their own potential? You know what I mean? That's also an important factor to take into consideration. So take all factors in consideration and take the facts and do what is right with that information. So that is kind of what I see in your reading, and that's what makes you very different as well. Perhaps you're already able to see it that way, and perhaps I'm just reading it like that, if that makes sense. So I feel like your soul just shines in a beautiful way. Your soul radiates. You are sunshine in human form, and I want you to know that take this energy and, create something new with it, with the Fool card. Take this energy of like what I'm saying and see this as like how beautiful your soul shines, like the sun, and it's bright and everyone can see it. And it's what makes you different and unique, but also beautiful. I know the reading isn't about what makes you beautiful, but I'm feeling like this is what makes your soul beautiful. So that's why I'm saying it. Like, I just feel like you are sunshine in human form. That's what I feel. And it's beautiful. And I feel like something my friend told me the other day was like, if you have a lot of light within you, you are like that sunshine energy, and if someone tries to come towards you with bad intentions, they're going to burn themselves. So I don't want you to worry about people like that, but I feel like you being that pure soul, that pure loving soul, leads by example and shows others the way, and it's bright and everybody can see it. Does that make sense? So that's what makes you very unique and different from others. And with the gracious receptivity card, it is a kind of balance here, because we see gracious receptivity and a woman with a crown on. So you're like royalty, my pile number 3s. Your soul is like royalty. And you treat yourself good, but you also treat others good. And not only are you able to give generously to others, you're also able to receive. And not many people can do that. You're able to receive beautiful manifestations from the universe and, walk your path the way it's meant to be, and understand that those manifestations coming in are not necessarily bad. Because I said like you're not materialistic people, but I see it more so in the sense of like, I'm going to receive what the universe wants to give me graciously, freely, and not see anything as bad or good, but see it as how I use it is bad or good. You get what I mean? How I make the choice with it can be considered bad or good. Just like how people say money is the root of all evil. It's not necessarily that way, because if we can receive a lot of wealth from the universe and, like I said earlier, create a pet shelter from it, or give graciously to charity and help others with what we receive from the universe, it makes that thing good. You get what I mean? So I see this message for you as like, you're different from others, where you're able to graciously receive, but also give generously in return. So the next time a friend says, can I buy you coffee? And, you always do nice things for this friend or a partner or a family member, receive it graciously, because people also want to give to you in return because of how giving you are. And you are leading by example, and they're following your lead. So I see that you're able to receive, and that makes you also unique. because you're able to balance out that give and take energy, because you also deserve to receive beautiful things on earth, my pile number threes. So that was your reading of what makes you unique, different from others. I really hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if it resonated. And I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye!